Welcome to episode 5 of Off Rip Podcast. I'm your host, Mason.
It's your boy, Jay.
Wayne.
Okay.
Shy.
Let me start off today asking my fellow people how you guys are doing today. You know,
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. It's another day. Granted,
Absolutely.
It was all gloomy, but still a good day.
Little rain. You
You know
know,
what I mean?
Mr. Wayne.
No, I'm just kind of like out here existing. That's what I'm
Yo.
doing today.
I felt that. Whew. I felt that in my heart. I just be here, like,
Yeah,
I don't be doing nothing. I just be here, like,
Just like-
taking up space. How you
another
doing
day.
today?
I'm doing fine today. Today was a great day.
Are you doing good or are you doing
2
great?
days are my favorite days.
Okay, then that's why she here. How you doing
It
today?
was alright. Work was good. Can't complain. Feel me? God got me here, so it's a blessed day.
Did you hear what you just said? Ma'am, can you say that again for me, please?
God got me here.
God got you where?
Here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In one piece. Amen. Yes. Sir.
Amen. You already know. But today,
Heavy topic. Heavy topic.
heavy topic. Heavy. Suicide and depression. It's I've been impacted by it. I'm sure you guys have been impacted by it in some shape or form. So let's get into it. Who wants to start the topic?
Actually, I do, because
Let's get it.
I just had a recent experience with a close friend of mine, and crazy thing is that her and I had a fallout a couple months back, and the way it happened, I'm not proud of it, and I definitely take full blame of how I could have made the situation better
Mm-hmm.
and reached out earlier. You feel me? Especially that she had reached out. Just felt that it wasn't ready, but despite all of that, when I had called and everything was fine. We was chit-chatting like nothing happened. They come to find out Shorty, shared some things that I was not prepared for, and bruh, shit hit home. And I was like, yo, if she was successful, I wouldn't be on the phone with her. You feel me? And that shit really hit home. Like, I was out here in tears. Because that's a person that been through a lot with me, you feel me? A very good friend that I met through T-Mobile, and she's dope as shit. You know, you come across rare souls, and you want to hold those connections dearly to you.
Absolutely.
You want to nurture it, and those are the people that want to grow with you. Those are people that you need around you. We sometimes go through life and not really, how can I say this?
Appreciate it.
Yes, perfect word. Slip my mind right now. But definitely appreciate the people that we have here. We take it for granted. And I feel like we all need to take a moment to really appreciate and acknowledge those that are here for us and do want to support us and would want the same things. Because I feel like we all want just love and support. You feel me? At the end of the day.
Really?
We really all look
That's what it all
in
boils
other
down
people.
to.
Because honestly, even this podcast, I look forward to it. You feel me? Being a part of something, being like enjoying the company of others, uplifting each other, talking about things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. It's difficult. And
yeah,
a lot of us go through shit and we put a smile on our faces. Feel me?
For sure. This is really the highlight of my week. Like, every week.
I hear you.
My highlight. I love doing this shit. This shit is fucking fun as hell, bro. I love it.
Why do you
Love
love
this.
it? That's it. Why do you love it?
Well, not to get all sentimental and stuff, but you know, I get to come here, you know, every Tuesday, and I know I'm gonna see like good people,
Right.
good vibes. It's never on that, oh, so and so doing this, so and so doing that, like all that drama. Like,
Right.
I got enough of that drama at home. You know what I mean? This a good place for me to just come and just be. You don't got to do nothing specific. You're not here for a specific role. You're just here to be you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't nobody expect nothing out of you. So just really.
You know
You
what
do
I
what you
find
do.
amazing about that is that people don't realize how much just being in other people's company means to them.
Real shit.
Because again, we go through a lot of different things on a day-to-day basis, battling ourselves. It's difficult for me to balance relationships as far as like acquaintanceships, friendships, even my relationship with my brothers, and I live with these niggas. You feel me? I live with these niggas. I see them every day, but I barely talk to them. Not because we like beef or anything, but it's just life is taking a toll. They worry about the shit that they got, prioritizing. I'm worried about my life. My whole
Absolutely.
family I barely talk to. You feel me? So it's like on a day-to-day basis, we go through shit. And this can mean a lot to a lot of us, and we don't even know it. Feel me?
This certainly means a lot to me. Like,
So,
I don't
like-
take this shit for granted, like, ever.
Mhm.
Because, like, yeah, we're here, like, on this Tuesday, but we're not guaranteed to be here next Tuesday.
That's true.
So it's like,
That's true.
shit, if I die as the last host of Off Rip, I'm cool with that shit. Like, I love this shit, honestly.
But yeah.
Anybody else want to jump in on the suicide and depression? Anything that impacted you or?
I kind of wanted to bring this topic up for like this podcast, not because I didn't even know that it was actually about to be like Suicide Awareness Month, but just for the sheer fact that I feel like it's not a topic that's talked about too often in the Black community, or just talked about too often at all. Like it's talked about, but very lightly and quickly brushed underneath the rug. You know, it's like, oh yeah, he's sad, and then whatever, until like blam, fucking off himself, and now it's just.
Really?
Now it's like, oh my god, he seemed so happy.
He was so happy. That is so the number one.
He was always making jokes. He always had a smile on his face, you know? Meanwhile, like, this guy's been talking about, like, making jokes like, how much you think, like, how many flips you think I can do if I jump off this cliff real quick? Just making jokes like that, and no one's, like, really paying attention. Like, he's making, like, the most fucked up jokes. He's not really there, and, like, he was clearly not happy. He was just...
Pretty much was just going through the motions. Yeah,
going through the motions and pretending to be happy for the sake of other people around him, you know?
It reminds me of like that the episode with Rick and Morty when Rick is singing and like he's crying out for help.
Yeah, like he's always doing like what would double up, and like the Birdman comes out of nowhere. He's like, you do know that's like a great cry for helping my people, right, Morty?
Nah, what you said, like that's like the golden one. He looks so happy. Like everybody just be judging books by his cover. Like just because someone's smiling. Word.
Oh
Robin Williams is one of the funniest human beings to ever hit this earth.
Word.
One of like the greatest actors to ever hit this earth, and then you find out he just killed himself. Like.
And turns out he's battling with that for like
years. Yeah, and then you look at it, you gotta be like, wait, you gotta read it again because you like, there's no way.
Right,
but
exactly.
we be quick to judge people based off what we see like on a daily basis, but we don't know what they going through behind closed doors.
And the thing is with Robin Williams, we never really truly saw Robin Williams. We just saw the characters he portrayed, like
Right.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Flubber, and all those other characters. It's just he was just like a happy-go-lucky guy. And even in interviews, people constantly talked about how he was just always improvising scenes and making jokes, and that's why every scene he was in was just so iconic and funny. Like they were talking about Genie for Aladdin. I don't know if you guys were talking about this on the podcast or if I heard it somewhere else.
I think you heard something else.
But Genie from Aladdin, he was so good as the voice actor for Genie that they actually had to go back and reanimate the movie because Genie was not supposed to be so like lively. He was supposed to be like this very stoic, stern character, and then Robin Williams came to play and was just like having a fucking ball with the
Just
character.
destroyed it, like tore.
And that's like the reason why like Genie's just like such an iconic character at Disney, and like when Will Smith became like Genie,
I was just about to say that.
it was like everyone had like, bro, like these are huge shoes you have to fill.
like high
Like
expectations.
how are you gonna have a whole animation? First of all, I don't know if you guys like know how long like an animation takes, but it takes long as hell, especially back then. So you have to have an entire animation team reanimate scenes and recolor and redraw. Just because you killed like your audition,
Shattered it, just murdered it. Like
those were like that's ridiculous. And to find out like this happy-go-lucky guy is just depressed. He's like constantly drinking. He's doing drugs. He's doing this. He's doing that. You know, and like just you wake up one morning and you see like the happiest man you ever thought you saw alive shot himself or hung himself.
That just be the craziest thing to me. Like. Personally, I've experienced it where like I used to go to MVCC like in Naugatuck Valley, and I used to see a dude like I used to go to high school with, play football with like on a daily basis, and I was telling him like, yo, I'm trying to get in shape, da 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 da. He was like, yo, next week we about to work out. We be in the gym upstairs. I'd be like, cool, like whatever, just hit me. You got my number. And then literally that same day, like he jumped off a bridge, like the same day. Like, that shit, bro. That shit hurt me, bro. That shit hurt me. I ain't even gonna lie. But
Yeah, other intentions, that's crazy.
and then before that, like, literally, like, 2 months, like, I lost a kid I grew up with. Killed himself. And I was in the hospital, bro. So I couldn't do nothing. Like, I couldn't go over there. Like, shit, bro. When it hit close to you, people don't understand, like, how painful that shit is. Like, because you can't get no explanations. You can't get why did he do it, what made him do it. Like, you're not getting no.
You really can, because like when it comes to suicide and depression, like as we were explaining with Robin Williams, he had all this money, friends, and famous, and yet he still
felt alone.
felt alone. Same with Kurt Cobain. Like he was sure he had like his drug addiction, but like he had his friends and his family, but like he still ended up taking his life just because like he just couldn't do it anymore. But what I was gonna say is because like I dealt with depression and I had an ex that like didn't understand why I was depressed because to her I had everything and she had nothing, yet she was still pushing forward and she didn't really understand. It's like I really like I understand I have no real reason to be depressed. I just am.
Just am.
Like I literally wake up every morning and I'm just like I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to get out of this bed. I don't want to do anything. Like I just like why did you wake me up this morning? Like why did I wake up? Why did I not just pass in my sleep? Like that's just what I was hoping for. That's what I prayed for. Yet no one like answered that prayer. And it's like again, like I don't have anything to really be depressed about. Like yeah, I kind of had a fucked up childhood, but my life has been getting better and I've been doing better. But still, like those thoughts linger. Like there'd be days where I'll be at work and like the thing about Yale is we have this parking garage that everyone seems to jump off of for some reason. And I'm honestly starting to think like there's some crazy spirit link there that just like calls to people to like just jump off. But like there's days where I'm at work where I'm just like I kind of just want to jump off that fucking like that garage. Just why? Just because I'm tired. I'm honestly just fucking tired. Like I don't find joy in a lot of things anymore.
I felt that.
And it's like
Oh my
it's
God.
been that way for a while. And like to be honest, I've actually made several attempts on suicide. It's just I've never been able to actually fully commit or implement it. Like my first suicide
Attempt.
thank you,
You're welcome.
was when I was in 4th grade. I was just coming home from school and like I was crying because as usual I was being bullied on the bus, I was being bullied in school, I was being treated by the teacher like I was some just dumb black kid from the city. And then like I was just called my mom and like she was at work, so she didn't really have time to talk to me, and like I was just sitting on my kitchen floor, like I had this knife in my hand and like I was trying to commit seppuku, which is basically like what Japanese samurais would do when they dishonored themselves or like they didn't want to accept defeat in combat. And I was sitting there in the middle of the kitchen and I was just constantly going back and forth trying to gain enough momentum to do it and just crying my eyes out. And I eventually just dropped the knife because right before I pierced myself, I started thinking like, damn, what would happen if my mom came home and just saw me bleeding here? So I put the knife away. I went to my room and I just went to sleep. I didn't tell anybody. This is actually something I haven't told anybody in a while.
Think you about to make me emotional. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I'm making
bro.
myself emotional.
I ain't even,
Like, this is a hard topic for me.
I ain't
and
even
it's,
gonna lie to you.
like very real for me.
Yeah.
But we're glad that you definitely
Real
went through
shit,
that.
bro. Because you here for a reason. You know what I mean? You here for a reason. There's a reason why you didn't do it. You know, there's reasons why. Like, there's reasons for everybody. Everybody who thinks about it but don't do it, there's a reason why they didn't do it. I've experienced so much pain just on an emotional level. None of that compares to what would happen if my mom see me do that shit. Like that. Come on, dog. Like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. So like even when like days where you just like, I really don't want to be here. Like I really don't want to be here, but you know that you're here for a reason. God didn't wake you up just to wake you up and amount to absolutely nothing. Either He woke you up to do something and you're choosing not to do it, or you're not getting woke up at all. There's, you know, people who don't really appreciate life usually get life taken from them. And the people who appreciate it still get it taken from them. So, best thing you can possibly do is just appreciate what you got when you got it. Because there are people in way worse situations than a lot of us and are going through hell as we speak. Like right now. So, that's one of the things that keep me like going, like this, well, that and this, like if truth be told, I'd be real bad off if I didn't have some sort of outlet to, you know, like get this shit out. Like I'd be really bad off.
And that's what I feel like that's what a lot of us, even myself included, we lack, like outlets. I feel like a lot of us don't really know ourselves or even have hobbies to kind of get that energy out. You feel me? even just now, like recently, I've noticed that there's a lot of things that I'm not into as where I was beforehand,
Mhm.
you know? And now I find myself like questioning what I know I have a purpose that I do know, but how am I supposed to get through these days that's dragging and I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. Like,
Mhm.
that's what, but the question that arises with that is like, why am I feeling? I feel like we need to ask these questions. Like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Like, why are these thoughts coming about? Like, where is this stemming from? You feel me? Like,
You know
we have
that-
to get ourselves.
You know
on
what I've
that.
like thought about, like, that I've always asked myself, like, when I was in the midst of like of a deep depression, like,
Mhm.
what am I good at?
Mhm.
That's one of the things I used to ask myself, like, what am I good at? Because like I've yet to find something I felt like I was like so good at that I could be like, all right, I could take this shit somewhere. Like, I can,
But all right. So after that,
you know
like,
what I mean? Like,
yeah. So do you ever get far as exploring what it is that you're good at?
I mean,
You see, that's one thing. Like, you can have the thought, but you put in
Yeah.
the action behind it. That's where it really comes into play. You
Yeah.
feel me?
and you were in the middle of talking before we were.
Oh
Cut
yes.
off.
So I was going to actually like piggyback on what you both were saying about outlets and being bullied in school. So in third grade, I used to go to Salentino. I don't know if I can say their names up here, but I am. And these two boys, when I was sitting back on the bus, they punched me, and they were beating on me to the point where they swallowed my ribs. And I actually went to the school and told them the day after. I ended up taking some time off and I went to the hospital, all that stuff had to get fixed. And after that, I didn't go to school for 2 weeks and I stayed in my house because I was depressed and I cried. And I went back to school the next day. Mind you, I'm new to the school, new kid and all. Made some friends. My friends became my outlet. My friends are actually the ones that saved me from going crazy. From me being in a black void of depression, staying in my room every day. Me and my best friend's been friends since third grade. That's 12 years right there. She's not going nowhere. I'm being honest, Javon, you are one of my outlets. You're my friend. I love my friends. They know me more than being honest, my house. My mom don't know what I'm going through because why? Telling your parents that you're depressed, they'll be like, oh, well, what is wrong with you? What do you mean? My life is upsetting. I'm not where I want to be in life. I'm not happy because you're not helping me. There's nobody helping me, guiding me to know what I'm supposed to do. I'm sorry.
And what you said about that, like not being like feeling like you're not where you want to be, that was one of the things I was dealing with too. Until I just like came to the conclusion that like, cause I was really thinking of life like from a real dark area. Like I used to just tell myself like this, like oh it's not worth it. Like what are we living for? But then when you start to like real understand like, yeah you're not where you want to be, but you where you need to be like at the moment. Like God putting you there for a reason. He wants you to learn something in the process. And once you close your mouth and then open your ears, you really understand. Like, all right, I'm here for a reason. Like, I gotta do something. Like, whatever it is, whatever He's calling me to do, I'm gonna do something. And that's really all there is to it, Mr. Javon.
So for me, when I dealt with my depression, I was in the 8th grade, and throughout the course of the months, I had found out that one of my favorite aunts had breast cancer, and the cancer was so bad that the tumor from her breast had spread it to her brain, and we got the call. I think it was that Sunday before I went to school, letting us know that she had took her last breath and was gone. So I went into school the next day just bawling tears like throughout the whole day. And my last period class was science, and I had told my science teacher like I'm like really not like in the like I'm not here but I'm here. And it was to the point where she like let me sit out the whole class and just take the time that I needed to get through what I was dealing with. But I just felt like it wasn't like it felt too surreal.
Yeah.
Like she will always come by my grandmother's house full of life. Like so energetic, interacting with everybody. then once you get that call, it's like, damn. Like, one of my favorite aunts is, like, really going on some shit. And I just...
Well, I trust me. I get you. I lost my sister back in '08.
Sorry,
And I ain't been-
Like, that shit, like, really hit home.
That
for me.
shit's crazy, bro. Like, trust me, I get you. I ain't been right. Like, 2008 was what, 12 years ago? Well, 12, 13 years ago? I have not been right since. Like, I'm trying to get better, but I haven't been right since. Because that was, like, my best friend. Like, in
When
the
you
world.
lose somebody close to you, it's like your heart don't shatter, but it's like you
It's
can't
a-
explain
It chip
how
away.
you feel.
Like,
It
it's
chip
in
away.
pieces.
Just pieces.
It's
Just
like a
chip away.
whole-
Just fall.
Part, like...
Also, you got to think about it as a mental thing. What do you really? You're not. You
You're
can
not there
feel
mentally.
sad, but in your head, it's like this really just happened.
Yo,
like this
we're
happened
like,
to
you
me.
still
This is
tryna
my. This is my
process
aunt. This is my
everything.
sister. This is my family. Somebody I love.
You just processing when the last time you saw that person
Yeah.
was.
Bro, like, for real.
You
I
feel
just
me?
saw you.
You're
I
like,
just
yo,
saw
I just
you.
saw you
I just saw you.
yesterday.
Like, for me, with my aunt, I just seen her at church. And next thing you know, she at home, literally about to take her last breath.
Yeah, like that's.
You guys want to appreciate life though,
Yo,
even
for
though
sure.
it has its
Please
moments.
do.
Cause like
Please.
my grandma or my mama said, God's not gonna put you in a situation if you can't handle it.
That's true.
Absolutely.
If you can't handle it, but He's gonna put you in these situations so you can handle it. You
And
gotta.
for me, growing up in the church, I've always been told that, but I never, like,
Took it serious.
yeah.
You don't really take
Like,
it serious.
I ain't really take it serious, and it was, like, so unexpected
Mhm.
that I wasn't even, like, able to, like, act or even try to respond to see if she wanted to, like, before she had took her last breath, see if she, like, just to call and check on her.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are feeling depressed or having thoughts about suicide, seek help.
For sure. I'm not gonna lie though, cause I've alright. So when I was younger, I used to think like therapy was, you know, there was a lot of misconceptions and
Word.
stigma towards therapy, and my pops used to like threaten us like, yo, don't do this, or if not, you're gonna go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like some horrendous times as far as like family therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always like forbidden to even go there. But I'm not even gonna lie. Just recently I started seeking help. I reached out to my not my help provider, but T-Mobile provides, you feel me, the therapy for at least like 10 sessions for you to seek help and shit. I'm gonna start my first session tomorrow, and let's see how that shit goes. And I want to tell everybody, like, if you are going through something tough, I know myself, I tend to cut off everybody in the sense that I need to figure out my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to taint people's auras or energy with what I'm going through. You feel me? Like that, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. That's just not who I am. I'd rather remove myself from the situation and handle what I got to handle before I immerse myself into any type of social activities, any social events. You feel me? So I feel like if you definitely going through something mentally, emotionally, whatever it may be, even financially, because that's definitely a stressor. That's one of my stresses, and a lot of people don't even talk about that. Me and my homegirl, like, we want to actually build on that, because there's a lot of, look at us, there's a lot of young folks that don't know how to financially prioritize their bills or their anything of that nature, and it takes a toll. Before they know it, they in debt, and a lot of people don't even know what's the first step to take, and we realize that. So it's like we want to do something to help not just ourselves, but people who want the help as well, and we could teach them. You feel me? Like, pay it forward. But I feel like the talking to people, venting, and actually connecting with people when you're at your lowest, or you're vulnerable, when you're vulnerable, because you need that support, you need that love. So definitely seek that help for sure. And if you know anybody, because right now I have a friend whose loved one is going through some shit. He sees his younger brother like struggling. You feel me? And I'm talking about popping pills, and he just don't even know how to help him. And that's hurtful, because it's like, I care for my man's, and he's struggling because his younger brother is struggling. And it's like, yo, I can't do nothing, even though it's like not really you. It's affecting you in a way that it's affecting your relationship with other people around, and I see it. You feel me? Like, that's sad. And it's sad for me because it's like, yo, I see you going through it. You feel me? Like, my friend, like, she's going through her own personal things. Like, a lot of people don't really have that support. So I'd say, you know, reach out to seek therapy. Definitely.
Just to piggyback off what you were saying with seeking therapy, I know there's a lot of people that they're scared to seek therapy because they don't want to be hospitalized.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
in my own experience, I've been hospitalized quite a few times for my depression and suicide, so I understand why they're scared. The reason why they're scared though is because like there's this thing called the Baker Act. And basically, I think it was either in the 70s or 80s that was established. But basically, like if your therapist deems you psychologically healthy, they can have you put in asylum for an indefinite period of time.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's what really scares people, is because I can tell you, I've been in like a mental ward, and you're basically in a jail where people treat you like you are living shit. Depending on where you go to. Like, I've been, when I was, like, my sophomore year to my senior year of high school, I was probably in and out of a mental institution 2 to 3 times. One of those times I had to be tranked because I was so scared of going back that I was, like, wilding out when the ambulance came to my house after I tried to commit suicide. That they had to have the cops put me down on the ground and trank me in order to go over there, because I was just so scared of going over there and being treated like the way I was. And then there was another time when I was, I want to say 19, and I was living in Florida, and I went to a mental ward on my own accord because I was like in a very bad depressive state, and I was honestly about to just lay in traffic and just wait. So I just called an ambulance, had them take me. I got there, and the only reason why I did this is because I read online is that if you voluntarily go to a mental ward, you can take yourself out at any time. That's not true. They will let you leave when they deemed you are worthy to leave. And while I was there, it was possibly the worst experience I've ever fucking had in my life. We weren't allowed to go outside. We weren't allowed to do anything. The nurses acted like they did not give a single shit about you. They acted as if you were just scum, like you were just trash, as if you were just like the worst living thing imaginable. And it's like, I'm not even here because I did anything crazy. I'm just here because like I'm fucked up in the head and like I'm trying to get better. It's like I want to kill myself, but at the same time I don't want to kill myself because like, what if I do it and there's something worse for me on the other side?
Oh my God, that is one of my biggest fears.
That's like, to be perfectly honest, like that's the one biggest thing keeping me from actually doing it. Because I've had attempts after this that I just haven't told anybody. I actually had one pretty recently, but I'm not really gonna get into that just now. But like I'm dead scared of going to hospitals. I'm dead scared of therapists because like, and when I was in Florida, I went there and I was just like, hey, I'm trying to leave because like the way you guys are treating people, it's not right. Like we should be able to get some fresh air. Like there was a woman there. She was there for 20 years. She has not seen light, natural sunlight in 20 years.
Crazy.
And she like you would see her and like she was just
just go out of it pretty much.
hi.
Oh shit.
And that's what she would do. And like it's actually a bad habit. Like I know like people at work probably notice it, but it's a bad habit I pick up. I tend to pace around a lot. It's a bad habit I picked up being there because it's like you have nothing else to do but walk up and down, up and down, up and down until like it's time to go to bed. And one day, as I was saying, when I was trying to like leave, I freaked out because I was like, yo, like what the fuck? I thought I was supposed to be able to leave when I wanted to leave. They were like, no, you can't leave until we deem you ready to leave. I got really angry. I freaked out. They ended up tranking me and tying me to this table for about 2 hours.
Yo, what?
Yeah, all because I tried to escape. Because I was like, this is crazy. Like, I thought I could leave when I wanted to leave. And the thing is, they didn't even test me for anything. So for a good 3 days while I was there, whatever they tranked me with actually caused me to have a twitch. So I was just walking around like this, like for 3 fucking days, because like I had this strange twitch from whatever the fuck they gave me. And that's kind of like the reason why, like, even though like people should seek help, but they're scared is because of like events and things like that. And I just want people to know, like, yes, the Baker Act exists, but like that's only if you're already in the hospital, and only if like you're telling your therapist things that are
Abnormal.
not abnormal, but
It's something else. It's like if you're trying to hurt
no,
yourself.
I'm trying to find the words and not say it. Like I'm trying to like respectfully say the words and not say them in mine. But basically, like, you don't have to worry about that unless like you're doing something crazy detrimental. Like you have some crazy detrimental thoughts, and like you're sitting there going like, you know what? I walked in on like my mom the other day. I was just like, you know, I could kill this bitch.
Whoa.
I could kill her. Like, unless
That's
just,
just not funny, but damn, bro.
So I was trying to bring a little light humor to this.
That's
It's not really working, but like,
Yo, man.
but like that's unless like you're sitting here telling your therapist shit like that, like you really don't have anything to worry about.
Mm.
Uh,
But I feel like that kind of stops you, you know, from seeking that like
It-
real,
You know what's
real
crazy?
help.
That
like,
he's definitely right on about that, because when I was looking for the therapist, my first attempt to call, I'm not gonna say I had like a recent suicidal attempt, but I've questioned my existence, like as far as like me wanting to be here. Like, yo, this is tiring, God. Like I'm
Oh
really
my
just
God.
exhausted of like
complaining.
every single day. It's like something new. You feel
Mhm.
me?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like as much as you're trying to get your shit in order of what you got right now, it's like something new
Another
every single day.
obstacle against
Exactly.
something.
It's just tiring and exhausting. And when I explained this to the person I spoke to, he was like, okay, so tell me more about this. And he started explaining, like, it sounds like you had a suicidal thought. I was like, how, what? And I just banged the phone at that point, because he was like, oh, I might have to admit you in the hospital. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Since when he
wow.
became my therapist in like 2.5 seconds, like, demon.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
then I banged
That's
it real
crazy.
quick, and I started questioning, like, yo, wait, am I really about to do this? So then I had to, like, you know, I needed a different perspective. So I called my homegirl, and I was like, yo, so this happened. She was like, you feel me? Like, call again, because of a different conversation we had. All right, cool. So I let like 2 days pass, and when I finally got to somebody, I took a different
Approach.
method. No, different. I would say method, not a really approach, but a different method, because I had to do it through the application, some other shit, instead of calling. And this way, I actually found people that like, and they have an overview of how many years, what they really specialize in, and so like that's how I kind of found my therapist. But that first initial like, you know, experience got me scared. I started thinking about like, yo, these motherfuckers might think I'm crazy. You feel me? So it's like, cause I be having little spurts. You feel me? I don't really mean it, but it's like
Just
people can
happens.
still perceive it in a different way. You feel me? And that is a little scary in itself. So yeah, you definitely right about that, as far as like being careful on what you say and who
How
you're
you say
actually.
it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a psychologist, like a therapist. I've been having her since I was 6. I stopped seeing her when I turned 20, basically this year. Well, no, 18, because they moved me to the adult side. My mom always told me, be mindful what you say when you go in there, because they will label you as crazy, shy. So I'm labeled with bipolar, schizophrenic, and depression. I was diagnosed at the age of 6. I'm 20. They said I'm never going to grow out of being schizophrenic, and I'm probably not going to grow out of being bipolar either. Depression, that is something that's going to come with me everywhere I go.
Really?
Sundays are my worst days, like my worst days of my life. I get third-degree burn from my mom. That's depressing. Then we got the population, the environment, Connecticut. It's crazy. They're shooting, they're killing everybody. That just make you feel unwanted. Like, I feel unwanted in my own being. This is not my state, but in this state, I feel unwanted, unsafe. Everything. You're on constant nerve. You're on constant break. You have to watch everything you do.
There's a misconception about Connecticut. Like, people make it seem like, oh, you live in CT.
You're rich.
Greenwich.
You're rich.
Greenwich, they got money.
Yeah.
They got money.
Yeah.
But to you really,
I ain't never been to Greenwich a day in my life.
Me neither.
A day in my life. Never. For no reason. What I gotta go there for? I got no people who live there. None. Also, what I wanted to get into, guys, is like, we got real deep into suicide and depression, but one other topic that I really wanted to get into is like the quote unquote false depression. You know how people just go around just saying they're depressed just because something bad happens to them. I also want to talk about that. Like, people always talk about I got a 77 on my test. I'm depressed.
It's like a trend. The same
Yeah,
thing
everybody
that,
want. It seems like everybody
like
want
that
to be
whole
depressed.
toxic shit
like,
too is courted.
that shit's not.
Everybody talking about I'm
yeah.
depressed, I'm
Yeah.
toxic, I'm this. Like,
I was gonna
why? Talk to me.
I was gonna say, to get into like a real scientific terms, like if we're gonna go to according to like the current DSM, which is DSM-5, you aren't really considered clinically depressed unless the depression lasts longer than 6 months.
Hmm.
Oh.
And there's other
Okay.
things that also pertain to those feelings of depression. Like basically, if you have a reason to be sad, then you're not depressed. Like say like a family member dies and you're sad and like you're depressed over your family member dying. That's not really a real depression. That's like actually
It's
an
a sadness.
that's an
sadness,
actual
that's
reason to
grieving,
be
yeah,
sadness. You're
exactly.
grieving. You're
Mhm.
going through some stuff. Yes, that sadness can eventually turn into depression.
Right.
If it
But
proceeds, correct.
from the beginning, it's not really depression. It's just like a very advanced sadness. What depression really is like you have no fucking reason to be depressed. There's just like basically a lack of serotonin. Like I'm going like very scientific right now. There's like basically every human has a predetermined amount of serotonin that their body releases, and then a basic level that you're supposed to have. Like in my family, on my dad's side, we actually have a thing where most of the men on my dad's side of the family actually lack certain levels of serotonin. So like a good portion of my dad's side of the family, like they just get sad and depressed for no fucking reason. Like I didn't find out until my grandpa died that he was on antidepressants most of his life.
Hmm.
And the thing is, like, if you knew my grandpa, he was like this happy-go-lucky guy who didn't care about anything. Like, he just wanted to do his job. He just wanted to have fun. He just wanted to laugh. And like, he used to be an architect, and he eventually started like just. He lost his wife. He started like getting old. Couldn't do his job anymore. So like he started playing Minecraft because it was just like architect, building buildings in Minecraft. At least you can somewhat do what he lived for, but like in a 3D space. But basically, like I didn't know, cause like you met him, like he was just this happy guy. Like I remember, like we were on Marsh's Vineyard and doing a job for this house, and like we took a break, and like I think I was maybe 10 or 11 at the time. And it was snowing, and we like built this snowman. Like my grandpa like had like the biggest smile on his face while we were building this snowman. Like you could not tell that this man was going through anything. Like you couldn't tell that this man was fazed by anything, because like he always had this giant smile. So when I finally found out that like he was on antidepressants and everything, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you look like the happiest man in the world. Like, kind of like what we were talking about before. It's like, you just never know. And it's like, again, like, this is a very hard topic, and I don't want to evaluate anyone's feelings. I don't want to make anyone feel less than, but we do have, like, this trend in society where people are feigning mental illness just to fit
cool.
in. Yeah, like, to be cool, to fit in, to feel like they have this identity, if you will, because like to make them out different from everybody else. Like I feel like there's always memes on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, where people are like joking about killing themselves and like being so sad and all this other stuff. Or like I'd be on Reddit, and like there's like this Reddit page called 2 Me 4 Me in real life, where it's just like really fucked up memes. But it's just, I feel like people don't really truly understand what depression is, and depression is just like, you have no true reason to feel the way you feel. Like, you have no sense of hope. You don't want to continue anymore. Like, you don't enjoy life. You don't enjoy anything. Like I was saying, like with me, in my depression, like yes, I'm constantly pushing forward, and like, yes, I'm constantly trying to find things to keep me going, and that's just because, like,
For me, it's like my ability to laugh is what keeps me going. Like the day I know I'm not able to laugh is the day I know I should just finally just fucking off do it.
Word.
Like that's the day I know where it's like if I can't laugh, it's it's over. It's over.
What's the point? Like
what's the
if
point?
you going all through life and you not laughing, you ain't cracking a smile, bro.
That's
That
so
is
sad.
the saddest, bro. That sounds like one of the saddest things I've ever heard in my life.
That's why for me it's just like I'm okay. So like I mentioned this earlier, but my last suicide attempt, I'm not gonna lie, was actually about 4 or 5 months ago.
Shit.
I tried to hang myself in my apartment, and this is going to sound comedical, but I'm not trying to be comedical. But the reason why it didn't work is because I was actually too tall. You can laugh all you want, it's comedical, but like I was actually
Shit.
too tall.
I thank God you was too tall, man.
I was too tall to hang myself, so like I was just like watching this movie. First of all, this movie is supposed to be a comedy. It fucking wasn't. It's called Varsity Blues. It's like the
Yo, that
yeah.
I love what
that movie's nice. That
Paul Walker.
not Paul Walker, the other dude though. I think Paul Walker was.
It was Paul Walker.
was in
Varsity,
it.
yeah.
But like, first off, that movie's not funny.
No. Like
It's labeled as a comedy, but it's not funny. It's so serious, but it just happened to be like, I don't know if it was spiritual timing or just like, well, not spiritual timing, but like divine timing or anything. But the time I finally decided to like just do it, like I was like, I want to say I was 5 beers deep. I was getting the news done, and I just happened to be watching the scene where that guy was trying to kill himself also. Yeah, I know, irony, right?
That's crazy.
And like I just was watching this scene, and like I'm sitting here dangling like, yeah, I'm too tall, but like, you know, eventually it's gonna happen. It's fucked up to say, but like that was my mindset at the time. Like I was just like dangling back and forth like, and also thanks to jujitsu, like I have a very like long threshold to being choked. Like I can like probably be like choked out for like a good minute before I actually pass out. So like I was just like sitting there for like maybe 2-3 minutes, just like, when's this going to happen? And like I'm watching this scene, and I'm just like, damn, like I really wish I had friends like this guy in my life. And I started thinking about things, and it's like I do. It's just I'm so depressed and like I'm so fucked up mentally that I don't see the good in my life sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm 28. Yeah, I'm not where I want to be in life. Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, and sometimes I question who I am as a person. And there's days where I wonder if I'm good or wonder if I'm bad, because like sometimes I have like no empathy. Like I just literally have no empathy for anybody around me. And then there's days where it's like I care about everybody around me. So it's really hard to like put into words and summarize. Like even like right now, I kind of feel like myself going on a tangent. I kind of forgot what I was talking about.
You on topic?
But it's hard. It's dealing with depression and suicidalization is a very hard thing, because like I don't know about you guys, but like when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think about is killing myself. That's really my first thought in the morning. And then like I have constant thoughts of that throughout the day as I'm going, and like people just like think like, oh, he's cold, he's antisocial, and it's just like, no, it's I don't know how to interact with the world around me without making everybody else around me feeling sad for myself, and I don't want that. I don't want people around me to feel sad. I don't want people around me to feel bad for me. I don't want people around me to feel like they have to worry about me. It's more of, I just want friends, you know? Like, I'm tired of this feeling of being alone. I'm tired of constantly seeking out relationships that do nothing for me just because
you don't want to be by yourself.
Yeah, like they satiate these feelings of loneliness. Like recently I was in a very toxic relationship with somebody, and to be perfectly honest, it's like the more I think about it, the more I've kind of like the entire situation. Like I was with this girl, and I knew she was like a red flag from the beginning. It was just really nice to have somebody there, you know? That's just kind of how it was. It's like I knew this. Like I knew she wasn't good for me. I knew she was toxic. Like I knew she was a red flag. This girl literally had nothing going for herself. She wasn't like a good mother. She wasn't doing anything for. She had no job. She was doing drugs. And I just decided to take a blind eye to all of that, even though I clearly saw everything happening. Like I knew she was lying. I knew she was doing all this bullshit behind my back. I knew, like it was very obvious because like she was lying on herself a lot.
Mm.
But I chose to ignore it because it's just like I didn't want to go back to being alone. And when I'm alone, I have these thoughts where it's just like I don't know how to put it. It's just like when I'm alone, it's not good.
Don't wanna be.
It's really not good because
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. Is there anyone else wants to go? 'Cause I'm
But
taking up a lot of
that's-
the time.
I mean, as far as like that's why that kind of goes back to like how I was mentioned earlier, how like that love and support, people need to reach out. You feel me? You need to have that community. You need to have those people that you connect with on. I'm not gonna say speak out, but you feel comfortable in being vulnerable and speaking out. You feel me? So it's like even Mason when he expressed himself, how he looks forward to this. Like you never know how certain like groups of friends can help an individual out in different ways, you know?
Play a big role.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And I feel like it's just, you have to put yourself out there. Because I myself, like I said before, I have a huge issue in isolating myself.
Absolutely.
And I haven't realized how bad it's gotten until I started seeing that it's becoming detrimental to the important relationships in my life. You feel me? And it's like even good people like yourselves. You feel me? If I continue to, how can I say this? If I was to just not prioritize this, I wouldn't have been able to meet y'all. You feel me? And know like the type of good souls that are in this little group. And that shit is dope as fuck because a lot of people wish that they had this type of group or wish they had something of the sort. You feel me? So a lot of us, especially with this pandemic, we were forced to hibernate. And a lot of us realized that we were really running from ourselves and the things that we go through. Because when,
That
yo,
shit
you know how
crazy.
many relationships have fucking been broken up because of the pandemic because they really did not know who the fuck they were with? Just Miguel and his wife, bro, they divorced after 17 years, bro.
That's
And they said it was because of the pandemic. Because
Yeah,
they
'cause
didn't
they spent
realize
so
who the
much
fuck
time
they were.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I feel like even though we're like kind of going off topic, but because I feel like people just tend to get with people just to
Because of the loneliness, I feel
not just because like the loneliness,
I
The
just because,
companionship.
like, the companionship,
The company.
and just because the way like this is off topic, but like guys tend to like date women just because like of their looks, and those looks tend to give them status.
That too.
And like that's like I'm saying like even with my depression I tend to do that my damn self, but lately I've been kind of realizing it's like I don't want a girl that's pretty. I just want a girl that's I mean I want her to be
I was about to say that. I was about to say that. Wait a minute.
like, I want her to be
Listen.
pretty, but like I don't like when it comes to like that, like I don't care if she's like
The baddest woman.
I don't want her to like, be the
I'm watching
baddest
you.
bitch.
Yeah,
Like, I
you
just
know.
want her to be a
Yeah.
woman that's actually
bitch.
like I just want her to be kind. I
Baddest
want her to be I
female.
want her to be understanding. I want her to like actually like how do I put it? Like I just like when shit like hits the fan, I want to know she's gonna be there.
Oh my God.
I feel
basically what it
like,
is.
That's
yeah,
my biggest
Yes.
thing, too.
That's
But
like,
I feel like nowadays, like a lot of people don't realize,
You
like,
need somebody on your time. The same thing you're doing, you're giving 100, I'm giving 100. You can't, we're not children.
Like,
then
think about
now-
that.
but-
You know how
Keep
hard
it a
that is
buck.
to find.
Keep it a buck.
That is.
If it's not 50-50, then it's not really gonna work.
Yeah.
Right.
but at the end of the day, you gotta look at yourself. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you are what you attract. So you are the people that you surround yourself. So it depends on the person that you are looking for. If you're not right within yourself, and this is where like the depression, the isolation, the pain, the suffering, like I made the decision to isolate myself. You feel me? And that is bad. And I didn't realize how bad it's gotten until people had like realized like, yo, like you're tweaking. You need to really come out of hibernation. When I thought that was the best thing, when in reality I was harming myself. You feel me? Like. So I feel like it really depends on who we are and how we evolving. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, but then again, there are people who do suffer more than others. But you gotta take the necessary steps into reaching out to those that are there for you. You feel me?
And
Speak about it.
Just to add on to what you were saying,
Mhm.
like when you reach out to your strong friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like
That's
there's
facts.
people like me and like maybe other people who like me personally, I hide behind very dark humor.
Mm.
Some people and
Like,
I get it, yo. I'm
yeah.
big on that.
Like I'm very huge on dark humor. Like there's days where I'll say something like even myself, I'll be like, damn, like
That was too
Wow.
dark, right?
Like, we
Wow,
did.
right?
I'm going off the deep end. Like,
need to reel
nah,
it back real
but,
quick.
but one thing I've been realizing is like I used to really enjoy being alone, like just in my room, just in my thoughts. I didn't realize how much I hated being alone until I met y'all. Real shit. Like I did not realize how much I hated that shit until I met y'all. Literally after like the first pilot episode, and I was like, just the camaraderie, just the like the vibes in here, was
The
just,
energy.
like just was off the walls. Like it was off the
It
walls.
stimulates you. I feel like we all need that too, stimulation in our lives.
I went home that night. I was like, yo, I was by myself sitting in my room. I'm like, yo, I don't want to be by myself no more. Like real shit, I don't want to be by myself no more. And that's why now, like, I be every time somebody call me, yo, Mace, you want to do this? Absolutely. I don't really want to sit in my house like all day.
No, I feel you. Like that was me today. Like I didn't have shit. Like I was gonna do Instacart today, but for some reason, like I knew I had to do this podcast, and like I knew this was gonna be like a very, very hard podcast for me to do because like this is a very tough subject. Like early in the podcast, like I don't know if we caught it on camera, but like I had tears coming down my eyes when I was talking, just because like this is just hard. But like I was like sitting in my couch, just like I really wish someone would hit me up just to like do something, so I'm not just like sitting here on fucking TikTok or like YouTube or like Instagram. Like yeah, when I'm doing like on TikTok or like Instagram and like all the other things, like I'm usually like studying how people do certain things and like how they choose maneuver in the social world, and like how they use like these things to like progress their business and like other things in life. And like, cause like I watch podcasts, so like for our own podcast, to like see how they do their own podcast versus like, cause like I'm one of the editors on the podcast, so like some like I just want to know like how people do their things and like, so I can either like attempt to mimic what's going on. And shit, I kind of just forgot what I was talking about again.
I gotta close it up. Anyway.
But no, but we don't have much time left, and I just wanted to talk about again
2 minutes.
like it's okay to seek help. Seeking
Absolutely.
help doesn't make you weak, but be very wary of who you seek help from.
And how you say things
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
specific
It's not
person
what you
that
say,
you're
it's how
seeking
you
help
say
from.
it.
Because like
For
be very
sure.
careful how you say it. If you do choose to seek help and you're dealing with suicide and depression,
They can't label you wrong.
when you are going to find a therapist, be very careful about the words you use. Like you want to make sure your therapist is cool before, because like there are cool therapists out there, but there are also some therapists who like this is just a job for them and they'll send you to a fucking psych ward like that just so they don't have to deal with you and they can get some money dealing with you. And like there are some people out there who actually care about other people, so like make sure like even though they have like their degree and all this other stuff, make sure you vet your therapist and make sure that they're good for you and that they're a good fit for you. Don't be scared to talk to your friends, and you feel like you can't talk to your friends and just be honest, they are not your friends.
That part.
Because like here's the thing, like when Kayla was talking about before, like how she didn't want to talk to people and she was isolating herself because she didn't want to be a Debbie Downer, I was like thinking to myself like, girl, like if your friends won't talk to you while you're going through some bullshit and like they're gonna send you a Debbie Downer because you are going through emotional things and you are being a human being that is going through the human experience, they are not your friend.
Aight,
We
but
got
just to
30
make
seconds.
but just
We
to
got
make
30
things
seconds.
Guys, it's been I'm not gonna say it's been a great episode, but it's been an episode.
Let's
Hope you
say
guys like and
episode for your
subscribe,
soul.
and we'll see you in the next episode.
Later, Gators.
Peace, deuces.